Protest action around the world continue after U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Friday. The order suspends the arrival of all refugees for a minimum of 120 days. Syrian refugees indefinitely, and it also bars citizens from Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria and Yemen for 90 days. To get more reaction on this issue, we joined on the line by Iqbal Jassat. He is the executive member of Media Review Network. Iraq, it's a very good Iqbal. Good morning to you and welcome to Morning Live.
Hi, good morning, Vanessa. Lovely talking to you.
Well, it's good to have you on the program. Now, we've seen an overwhelming response to U.S. President Donald Trump signing an executive order on travel restrictions for some countries. Surely this must be quite a worrying factor for the network. Are you deeply troubled by this decision?
Yes, we certainly are troubled, and I think more than that, Vanessa, it is very distressing to note that Donald Trump remains quite adamant in pursuing, this Islamophobic policy. And equally alarming is the fact that his cabinet it comprises of really, right-wing fascists, and that those that have embraced him internationally seem to be from the same circle. If you take into account Marine Le Pen from France, you take into account from the Netherlands, Geert Wilders, and of course from Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. These people have an agenda, clearly, that is intended to not only marginalize Islam and Muslims, but to conduct a very covert and, in this case now, an overt campaign against Islam and Muslims. It really is distressing and alarming.
Yeah, but are you really surprised by his actions, Iqbal? I mean, if you were to look back at his presidential election campaigns and his inaugural address as well, he made mention that he's doing this, purely to keep America safe.
Well, indeed, as everybody else was surprised about, when the election results were announced, certainly nobody had given him a chance, clearly on the basis of the kind of bigoted rhetoric that he had undertaken during his campaign. But I think what is crucial to note, over and above that, Vanessa, is the fact that what he is now beginning to implement is clearly what he's inherited from previous administrations. Remember, this time it's more bashful, it certainly is more in the face, and clearly much more pronounced. But if we look at the kind of Islamophobic tendencies that had been associated with previous administrations, what we are now confronted with is, under Trump, a number of those veneers, those artificial layers of so-called liberalism now being peeled off. So we have, in the case of America, regarding its wars of aggression, occupation, the drone attacks that intensified under Obama. Remember, 72 in a 24-hour cycle on average last year. 24 hours ago, there was another scathing attack, dastardly, which wiped out a number of innocent people in Yemen, including a young American girl, Aulaki, whose brother and father were killed previously by drone attacks under Obama's administration. So we see a continuity of that. The difference is that in the case of Trump, he is now almost saying that the chickens have come home to roost. It's deja vu for those that he believes would accept and embrace his policies. And therefore, certainly for us as Muslims, an issue to watch out for, in the case that while this may be a blanket ban on 130 million Muslims, targeting 7 countries, it has the potential to reach out beyond this if it remains unchecked.
Yeah, Iqbal, we've seen some leaders, also condemning his decision. Are you expecting that this might be reversed? I do know that you're calling on the South African government and the African Union, as well as the overall international community, to urgently reassess their alliance with America.
Well, unfortunately, what we note thus far is that on the one hand, he's digging his heels in, remaining quite adamant and arrogant in wanting to pursue this, almost remaining unrepentant about what he's done. But on the other hand, we're also distressed by the fact that there is not the kind of reaction besides what civil society has begun to demonstrate within America and elsewhere, the kind of, encouraging signs from attorneys, civil rights activists, from judges who have opposed us on the basis of international law and America's own norms. But largely outside of this circle, we see a very muted response, and this is why we've called on our own government to take a very decisive position whereby, as a beginning, they undertake to reassess the kind of links that we have within the intelligence community, which buys and connects our government into America's discredited war on terror. And I think by extension, because North Africa is implicated as well, Somalia and Sudan, the AU has to take a much more decisive position on this.
All right, Iqbal, let's leave it at that, but thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much indeed. Well, we were in conversation with Iqbal Jassat. He is the executive member, Media Review Network, talking to us about the Donald Trump orders. Overwhelming response.
All right. One thing I have to just quickly tell you before we